Okay, I wanted to make this video yesterday, but I just wasn't in the mood, so it was kinda shit. So I doing it today, even if it's still a week late. But as you might know, Steel Division 2 was announced, and I, as a big fan of this series, wants to, of course, give you some opinions about this, the kind of rant about this announcement, because even when it was announced and I first time see the Steel Edition 2 gonna be released, I have quite the mixed feelings about it. But more I think about it, more I'm excited about this announcement because I think there is really opportunity for some big improvement in this title. But first, let's also talk about why I personally and probably a lot of other people who follow Eugene, let's not call them. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. But okay, also a lot of people have kind of mixed feelings about this too. You know, first reason people were really excited about war games, and Steel Division didn't have that big of following. So a lot of people are kind of disappointed about moving to continuing on the Steel Division and not a War Game. And I can see why War Game is very different game which probably attracts much more people. But I personally didn't really enjoy the game that much. I think as somebody who were a really big fan of previous Eugene titles like European Escalation. I think they went with totally different direction with Red Dragon, and I wasn't a fan of that. I just feel like it was War Game StarCraft edition, just kind of too much focus on micro and this kind of very game attitude in the game. I just I don't think I ever in that game develop some flank or manage to surround my enemy, and I have quite a lot of hours in that game, so I'm definitely happy they move on with Steel Division. But there is also one another concern about Steel Division, and that is they should s- stay with Normandy 44 and try to build on it rather than move on to new game after 1 year. And I would kind of agree with that. I think there are still things which could improve Normandy 44. I make video about mission editor and how that could, for a really small amount of resources, increase value we have in Steel Division. That would be a really powerful tool for the community to make really a lot of things with it, and it would also help modding community, because right now modding, we don't even talk about it because there are nothing is interesting going on. Another thing, maybe some experimentation with some new game modes campaigns could also help Steel Division. Like, they obviously have enough people who buy their DLCs. Like, otherwise they would not be making Steel Division 2. So I think that would be a good idea. But I also kinda think maybe they feel like they kinda shoot themselves in the foot with naming the first game Normandy 44, because it's really limiting for them. And I think we can see that when we look at some of the last DLCs where they kinda including included divisions which were in the Normandy, were in the Battle of the Friends, like Freshtung, or how they how they are called. So maybe they really wanted to move on uh, to something which would um, kind of include more stuff. And as we can see here, this is not this still division taking place in 1944 in Bagration. Yeah, here it is. Set during Operation Bagration. So they have a specific setting for this game, but not the specific name. It's called Steel Division 2, not Steel Division Operation Bagration 44. So I thinking that this might be hint about uh, there will be more things included. Maybe we gonna get some divisions from different parts of the front, maybe even some campaigns or missions divisions from different fronts, or even different times. Maybe we gonna get some 1945 units or something. And I would expect it that we gonna see all the units from Steel Division Normandy reappear. This is not, of course, something verified. This is just my feeling, because uh, it is kinda a thing with Eugene. They always bring the older units into their newer games. We can see it in War Game series. In Red Dragon you have Danish and Swedish fighting in China and Japan. So I don't see reason why they wouldn't include them in the multiplayer, because that's not something really accurate anyway. And it would be smart move, but I'm not sure if we're gonna see it, because for some comments on one of the posts on their Facebook, I feel like they little bit hinted about it not being thing that they said. I'm gonna find looking for it right now. They just said it wouldn't make sense for uh, Russians to fight American, which they're right, but I reading too much into it, but I'm a little bit worried that we maybe not gonna see Americans and British units here, which would be really shame. But they promised us hundreds of new units, so I hope they gonna continue Eugene tradition of introducing much more units in their next game. And it definitely looks like there will be more content this time. There will be a dynamic campaign, which I think it's a really good decision. I kind of enjoy missions in Steel Division, but they just feel very, you know, they just weren't very much thought work put into them. You know, and I kind of play a few campaigns in Red Dragon, and I felt like they have potential, but because AI wasn't that great, they weren't great neither. Because they are built on their skirmish, and you know, Red Dragon. I don't saying it was terrible AI, but that kind of big change, like what I think is good AI for skirmish, which can actually kind of replace the real players, uh, come with Steel Division Normandy. You know, in Red Dragon it is kind of playable, but not not it's not on that level. So with the new um, AI, which from Normandy, and maybe they're gonna improve on it. Even that would be great because it wasn't perfect. AI could really well differentiate unit types and use them in correct type of terrain or situations, but it wasn't as good in the kind of organizing its unit, uh, spreading them out to not be taken out by artillery. You could not beat all decks, but if you give them infantry heavy deck, you could kinda cheese them with artillery. And it would be also nice if it didn't ignore big gaps in their front line and kinda react more organically for what's happening on the map. And be a little bit decisive. It's one attack or defense. Defend a little bit, just a little bit more polish could, I think, really make skirmishes very fun. And together with this new dynamic campaign, which will be just one, which I think is a good thing, because if they making just one of it, they probably gonna really focus on it and make it very open-ended, and that's good thing, I think. The another thing in the content, uh, there will be 25 available maps. We don't know if they have will have more variations like in Normandy, but we're gonna see about that. Of course, 25 maps right now in Steel Division. There are 10 maps with like 30-40 variations. So this really we can just speculate. What I am more excited about that we don't have just conquest and destruction, but also attack and defense mode, which Normandy 44 as a free DLC got attack and defense multiplayer mode also, but I it didn't really feel like equal modes to conquest and destruction. It feel like few of missions which you could do. You could not use your normal decks in there, and it has kind of special rules. So I am really glad they decided to go with kind of attack and defense as normal mode, which you could play in the multiplayer, probably a little bit more streamlined. You know, I guessing that if it's included with this two, it's gonna let you to play your normal divisions there. So I am really a sucker for attack defense modes. I really like that. So that's definitely good thing for me. And didn't want to scroll. And also customize and perfect your battle groups in brand new deck system, allowing a never seen before tactical freedom. And this is really big thing. And I think most of the people who likes television gonna be excited about this most, because deck building system wasn't that great in Steel Division. Like, sure, it definitely made for a lot of play styles, but it was also kind of limiting, because you have basically 16 factions in the game, with DLCs, more than 20 factions in the game, which each play very differently, even if they have kind of similar units. But I feel like people would rather prefer to not be forced to play these historically accurate decks, and prefer much more freedom to mix and match what they want from that deck, and really find their own strategy. That's not being said that I'm for division system to be totally disregarded and like be going with general decks. I think they should keep these decks as they are that you choose division, but then for certain price you could maybe increase maximum number of certain type of units. You know, for example, you can to this division you can take free recon units, so you pay with for example availability points for more slots in a recon tab. And also for different types of units, if you for example uh, want some um, light fast armor in your otherwise very heavy tank deck to kinda be able to flank enemy better, you maybe could spend some availability points for unlocking these kind of units. So it would still kinda keep the theme of the deck as it is, but it will allow you to get units what you want into your battle group. So if you want to play competitive, you will be kind of forced to not go totally crazy with it and not like take five different types of units to one deck which doesn't belong to division you are playing, but also it would allow you to do so if you want, because it is kinda cool that you have so many different decks which really play differently. Like I don't think deck in Red Dragon felt that different to play against, but right now in Normandy 44, if you get match with player with uh, some Luftwaffe division, it will be very different play as if they are with normal Germans infantry division, or even infantry division themselves are very different. Some are really focused on light tanks and heavy fire support, some are kinda more balanced. So but I definitely like there will be more freedom, because it was just too much limiting, and this could be actually uh, probably the biggest improvements, because deck building is so important for community. Some people almost spend so much time in the building that it's almost as much time as they playing. So I'm definitely happy about it. Well, next thing which I think deserves to be talk about is their uh, gameplay revamp. And as you know, Eugene never makes same game twice. Each game they make gameplay really felt very differently. And well, I didn't play Airline Battle, so I cannot say if it's that different for Red Dragon. But what I saw on the videos, it's definitely looks like it's quite different. And this is kind of thing where I am kind of worried about where Steel Division gonna end, because I really like Normandy 44 for its mechanics, and I think they work really well, and I would not like to see them to change that much, especially with infantry, tanks, and air. I think uh, these the, these three things works much better than any time before in a war game series. Infantry is now much more capable. They can defend position much on their own. They can push the flank. They can conduct recon duties. They can use much more like real infantry would. Tanks also. I think even if they are kind of more limited than in board game, they are really powerful, especially on the mid ranges against infantry and in max ranges against most of the vehicles. And that's way it should be because that's why they have machine guns. If they fighting uh, with everything on max range with their cannons, it's not how they really fight in the war, and it makes for kind of weird gameplay where you basically just sniping each other. But now I think tanks are kind of forced a little bit more to be aggressive and push a little bit closer so they can really use their firepower to maximum efficiency. And also it gives infantry much more need for fire support vehicles because tanks now and even transport now fill the role much better than ever before. And also air because um, air guns were kind of nerfed compared to war game. You now can dogfight and it's really intense. It's really fun, and I would not like to see that change. But that's not saying that basic gameplay of Steel Division didn't have some issues which I would like to see resolved, especially with air system. It is really good because it allows you to uh, allows you planes to not be immediately shoot down when they get closer to enemy line, but instead have these dogfights and as Eugene said, use your A as shield and planes as sword. But also, I think it should be tweaked a little bit so AA can kind of stand on their own. Maybe not like give you air dominance, but if you like invest 300 points and you buy three good AA pieces and you put them on the one spot, they shoot down enemy planes. Like if you invest that amount of resources to protect from air, it should actually shoot down enemy planes because right now, depending on division, you of course can make no fly zones. Like it is possible, but most of the division just cannot do that because planes just are able to survive so damn much. So I would just say, keep their health by they are not suppressed as it is. So they, if they get suppressed and they're shooted by one AA gun, they still have time to retreat to safety. So not gonna get shoot down by one AA gun. But if there are three normal guns or two very good guns shooting down on one plane which just went a little bit too far, they should be able to get it down before it leaves. And also, I think uh, frontline system I really this is probably only one of mechanics in Steel Division which I didn't really like. It looks cool and it kinda helps with uh as kinda recon tool in the sense that it kind of warns you if enemies are getting nearby, which is very helpful. But in some situations, especially when you manage to breach enemy's front line and you are in your own units in deep in his territory, I think this system against itself because it's revealed too much about their positions and you know this kind of works against fact that you can do these cool maneuvers because when you breach somebody this front line, they don't know where you are and what are you doing, and that's a magic of blitzkrieg and these kind of things because you just totally disoriented them and you'll have a really good opportunity to do whatever you want. But this front line just revealed too much and that's not good. I think this works against doing these cool maneuvers, which is shame because you could not do them in Red Dragon. When you look at the best players playing that game, it was all about micro. You never see some cool tactics. So I would not miss dynamic frontline if they drop it completely. I think that would be for better. I didn't have problem with any others mechanics they introduced like phase system. I think that was pretty good. But this thing it could be dropped. I think or maybe just give command units some abilities that units in their command aura will not gonna change front line, so you can get this kind of commander, uh, attach it to your attack group, and you really do some cool maneuvers with it. And I think I address everything what I wanted. But now that I talking about uh, commanders, I just got this crazy idea, which I just think would be much cooler command command system as it's right now in Normandy. If instead of commanders giving +1 star to your veterancy, we should have hard set veterancies from 0 star unexperienced to 3 stars elite. So we would have basically one line of veterancy more, but commanders instead of giving the 1 star of veterancy, you could actually choose some sort of buff in their command aura. You could basically switch these abilities and you could increase survivability of units in command aura. You could as I told previously, prevent them from capping territories so they are very sneaky, or you could just increase their morale, maybe increase vehicles, I don't know, spotting abilities. I think that would give much more strategic possibilities. But one thing which also would cool that you could change these switch these abilities just once per phase. So if you get some commanders and in phase A you would give two of them reduction of suppression and one of them uh, this kind of stealth ability. You could only change that in phase B, and that would really give a lot of tactical possibilities. But that's just kind of crazy idea. That's not gonna happen no matter what. But I just throwing it out there that it would be cool. And that's probably everything what I want to talk about this announcement. Like, it's really exciting. I probably like Eastern Front more, just because it's so like two really crazy sides fighting each other, like fanatics on one side, fanatics on the other side, and it just kind of seem much more surreal, like everything is possible. Western Front just don't have that kind of atmosphere. But for everything what was announced, I'm probably most excited about deck building, because if it's gonna be as free but still have some interesting decisions to make, it could be really lot of fun to again build very interesting decks. And they could also do much more with veterancy. The because right now veterancy matter as much as ever. It never was veterancy as important as ever. So if they allow us to freely choose veterancy levels for units, they would give us a really massive amount of tactical freedom. But we're gonna see. Right now we have just announcement trailer and a few photos, so I am excited what they reveal next. Maybe I gonna make some other rants about this. So for now, stay tuned for more. I guess I can return to Steel Division recently. I was enjoying some other games. The new Life is Strange, the Prey 2017, and I also try a little bit of Shogun 2. So I kinda drop off from Steel Division, but I returning to it definitely. And I also starting to updating my guide, which I writing strategic guide for Steel Division. So if you would like something like that, check it out. It's not your usual guide with full of just tips or tricks. It really delves into strategy and tactics of Steel Division in a way I don't think anybody ever um, look up how to do these things. So, and because it's written, it should be probably less painful to experience than my videos. But okay, bye for now, guys.